I've parked here. I'm trying to recreate a photograph. I know I took it here. I even think it was in January, but it would have been January 2017, but the date I couldn't remember. And that was my first century of that year. Wye is nice and clear. You can see right to the bottom. And then the A470. The A470 is pretty much a north to south trunk road. And this is also Route 8, which is Cardiff to Carnarvon cycle route. So if you want to do a Welsh end to end, you come up here, and it's very popular. Well, obviously mostly in the summer, but people on it all times of year I've seen. So I'll find that picture and I'll stick it up and see how well I've recreated it. Just stopping. I thought that was a lovely view to look at. It was called Nala. It was like a Jack Russell but smaller, and it chased me down the lane, and the woman was shouting after it. It got out the house and ran across the garden, and down the lane it came with me. Nearly went under the back wheel actually, and then it got bored and ran back. This is a hamlet of Durnall. Not a lot here, there's a couple of houses. The A470 is quite high up over there. That's the road I took when I did the Llangunplo Friendless Church Century. Quite sweet. We're just wandering around though in the road. They dropped a feather, so I'll identify what bird it was, and that'll be one for the collection. I just met the farming lady and I asked her what species they were. Just regular guinea fowl. It didn't click at the time, but she just keeps them as pets. And they just hang around and eat stuff off the ground. So she says don't like the winter, being from Africa. They always try and get inside in this weather. But yeah, nice bird. I can still hear them. And just over there, look, there's a buzzard. I didn't bring the long lens camera. Is it a buzzard or a kite? It's gone behind the tree now. No, it's a buzzard behind the tree, but then up by the windmill, there's a kite up there. There it is. I was going to go up there. That was where I was going to go last week, up on top of that mountain. Get some tiles. But they shall wait for another day, when the days are a bit longer and maybe a bit warmer. 12:15 now, so about 5 hours daylight left. It's a nice bit of road edge in there. And a couple of yards. It's cold on this side of the mountain. Over there on the A470 must be nice and warm, but here you notice it. Bit of ice on the lane. Through the Wye, down the Wye Valley, Rhayader down there. Just occurred to me, so the sun will be at its zenith now. Well, I think it's about 12:30 when we're on Greenwich Mean Time, and then 1:30 PM when we're on British Summer Time. But this side of the valley must never see the sun, direct sunlight in the winter. Very rarely, and you can tell because it is cold, dark on this side. Nice and warm and inviting. It's like 2 months further on over there. Into the wild bit here. We're going around a big corner in a minute. Oh, and up a hill. Over there is the road up to St Harmon, the lane, and also that's where the railway line came out. The railway went to Rhayader, and then I don't know where. I've put it up before. I can't remember off the top of my head though. So you might see the old railway infrastructure in a minute. The scenery here is lovely. I forget how nice it was. Down the lane, down that valley there. It's a bit twisty here. If you can't spot that, I don't blame you, because I only just did. But it's the remains of a viaduct over the River Wye. Only the pillars are left. There's one pillar, two pillars, and then the embankment here, which we'll ride along in a minute, and then the embankment goes further on up there. That railway line would have, I think it closed in the 60s. I'll put the information up. I did used to know it, and I've forgotten it, I'm afraid. But completely back to nature now. Most people probably go past and would never see it. Here's the embankment where there would have been a bridge, by the looks of it, unless that's been dug away to get access to the river. Looks like it's been dug away. You'd think they'd have, because normally when they take the bridges out, they only take out the span and not the support, and we'll come up to the same level of it now. Yeah. Fascinating. Obviously this is private land and it shouldn't go on it technically, but the old Rhayader to St Harmon line. I'm getting annoyed with these gears. I mean, they're not They're not that smooth, and they keep skipping. Skips more than the old Rhayader did. Perhaps, I think the hanger's bent. Maybe the sprockets were, but maybe everything else was bent so that it would work properly. But now you put on something that's new and it's actually not bent. All the other bent bits are like, I can't work with this. So it's like some farmer's track now. It's a shame really that it's gone, because obviously on the bike you can always, railway's always handy in case you break down. Another cutting of the row. I've just been overtaken. There's only the second car on this lane. The other car was coming the opposite direction to me. And then the A470 is very busy, so Rhayader's just come into view on the map, so I'm going to get some food there to get me over the mountain. Because I'm feeling fairly fit, but I am hungry, so the plan is to buy a lot of food in Rhayader, eat it up to Clairwen once I get on the Clairwen track, and then I've still got food afterwards for it'll be night time by then probably, and I do actually want to try and get a sentry in. I've decided it'll be, I'm on 36, but it's 40 to, I'll be on 40 by the time I get to Rhayader, and then it's another 40 back to Abbas, that'll be 80, and then that's only 20 to make up. So I'll do a bit of a loop back after Clairwen, because Clairwen brings me out at Fair Ross, and I can drop down to Tregaron and come back along the cycle lane probably. That's the plan, because it's turned into a beautiful day and I don't want to cut it short. And then if I could get a sentry this month, then I can go for 12 consecutive months of a sentry then for 2025. You can see 40 to Aberystwyth. I think the Clairwen track will make it more for me, so that's good if I want the sentry. I'm going through the flags, go up the footpath bit, because normally I go up the road, but I've not been up the footpath bit for a long time. I don't know how busy the footpath bit will be, but I'll go that way. I've been to the Spar shop, spent £11.13 on 2 Mars bars, a Coca-Cola, that sandwich, a bag of Haribo, a pack of 2 jumbo sausage rolls, and they are jumbo, they're bigger than Greg's, and that's it actually. No, and the chicken meatballs, so I'll enjoy that. Just about to leave, and not before time because I'm starting to shiver. Well, I did have to stop and eat something. I just noticed the other bench over there in the sun. Incidentally, we're stood underneath where the railway bridge, pardon me, would have been. Pardon me again. You can see more of the embankment here. And this railway line was a branch off to service the building of the reservoirs, which we'll see in a minute. As everybody's out enjoying the Elan Valley, I've just seen a Porsche go past with a good personalised number plate, A911. So, they're quite amusing. Woman in a horse just ridden into town. So, yeah, kites are up in the sky and Aberystwyth now. Nice view over to Rhayader. Kite just landed in the fir tree in the centre shot. You can't see it on the GoPro though. They're up on the level of the railway line now, and we're actually climbing up. So I'm not sure if there's an old tunnel here. If I see it, I'll stop and look, but if I don't see it, I'll carry on. You can see the sort of the Wye Valley going out and down. That's always a nice view of Rhayader when it's dark and you've just done the A44, or even when it's light and you've just done the A44, because the A44 is a bit worse a bit more busy in the daytime. There's always it's the last bit, and then you're on the minor roads then all the way to Aber, whichever way you go. It is a former tunnel. There's the entrance to it down there. It's so overgrown you can barely see it though. But you can tell we'll go on top of it in a second. There you can see the proper edge of the cutting, and then suddenly it's as if it wasn't here. It's a pity we couldn't go through it. It'd be good, that would. About they call it the Rhayader tunnel for now. It's like a tunnel for wildlife. I don't know how long it is. But it's certainly an interesting route this is actually. It's taking us all the way around, back downhill now. That's an old that's probably something to do with the reservoir, and then here we are at the other side. Oh, you can see it much better from here. See it much better from here. And there's a hole in it for the bats. We've left the railway. It's a bit of a way over to our left. So I'll have to double check and make sure it actually was like along here. This is a nice mossy track though. Remember coming along here, I think the first time was in 2011. So 2025 now. Stopped for a natural, and there's a group of trees here, and they're all celebrating the company's 25th anniversary is what it says, but they've all got people's names on them of who worked for the company at the time. I don't know. Oh dear, look at this tree. Who was that? That was Sid Williams, and his tree has fallen over. Heading up to the Elan Valley on the path up to the dam. You can't see it yet from here. No, I can't anyway. But that's the Elan village there. That was built for the workers who built the dam, and then the other villages and farms and further on up were flooded.